Every D&D world needs a subterranean version of it, because players, after a good dungeon delve, every now and then just want to delve deeper. They want to go deeper into the subterranean version of your world in order to find interesting places to go, cities, NPCs, quest hooks, and for you as a dungeon master, at least for me, it can be really hard to fill that section of your world with places to go, cities, rules, and guidelines for making it a living and breathing world underneath the world your players are used to adventuring in for a couple of sessions. But the creators of Deep and Dangerous are here to help. Hi there fellow roleplayers and game masters, my name is Mr. Drosk and this is Deep and Dangerous, which is a Kickstarter campaign with still 12 days to go, and it raised $9,500 US dollars from their $3,000 goal. Now they're doing pretty well, but I just want them to do better. The reason I want to talk about this is pretty simple. I have a ton of books behind me right here, as you can see. I have so many D&D 5th edition books, either digital, either physical. This is like a part of my collection. This is not my entire collection, and I only have a few. There's only a few that really talk about the underworld or the underdark-esque part of a D&D campaign. I've been playing in a homebrew campaign for about 20 years now, which is the Known Lands, and I as a dungeon master always found it very hard to come up with like ideas and places and cities and NPCs and whatever for playing in like an Underdark-esque or whatever you want to call it setting. Like my players often want to go deeper after a dungeon delve, and I'm just trying to make stuff up on the fly, and I don't really own a guide that helps me with that. And Deep and Dangerous actually promises to just do that, which is really good for me, and it's like really high demand for me personally. I say there's almost no modules, but there is of course the Underworld Player's Guide by Kobold Press, which has helped me out a ton for IDs like races and classes. You can use in any campaign, but especially in the Kobold Press Midgard campaign. But Deep and Dangerous is a setting neutral kind of thing where they help you fill in that blank spot in your game, right? In your game world. So I'm gonna quickly talk about the campaign. Then I want to quickly delve into the PDF that they offer for free on this Kickstarter campaign page. So make sure to click the link in the description below, download the PDF for yourself and check it out. And if it's for you, make sure to back it. Now, really quickly, you might know this Den of Assassins. I have not yet reviewed this, but I am in the process of reviewing this. Like, this was a really successful Kickstarter campaign, and they say it's deadly new player options, villains, and game master tools for the world's greatest role-playing game, and I just absolutely love this cover. I mean, she looks so absolutely badass with the sword in one hand and the sickle or whatever you want to call it in the other hand, and she's walking down the stairs with a bunch of dead dudes behind her and there's blood everywhere. Absolutely love this. I am in the process of reviewing this, but I will put the link in the description below for you to pick this up if you want this. But if you want to support Deep and Dangerous, here are your options. So Deep and Dangerous, a quick overview of what they're going to do. So I really like the cover art, by the way. I really like how they have these people here, hanging here. They are like these swashbucklery adventurers going down into a dungeon, and like that in itself is of course really scary because they have this lamp, they don't know what's going on, and they're like, oh no, we don't know what we're getting ourselves into. But then there are these eyes in the rock wall. I really like the cover art of this book. I just want to put this on my shelf. So creators, maybe you can send me a copy. I don't know, you can. So, Deep and Dangerous contains everything you need to take your 5th edition campaign underground. Get your players ready to delve into subterranean adventures with new subclasses and races that bring unique abilities to underground exploration and survival. So, they have a unique micro setting. This underground location can be dropped into an existing campaign or setting to create a compelling area for underground exploration and adventuring. It features its own history and precious resources, remains of a fallen empire and otherworldly threats in the forms of demons and void creatures. So yeah, there is this setting. You can, like, they call it a micro setting, which is a really good way of saying it. It's a setting you can put into your setting. It's something like the Margrave by Kobold Press, right? There's the old Margrave, which is like a forest, a magical forest, but you can take that and just put it into your campaign. and it is like its own kind of campaign setting within your campaign setting. Really love that they're doing that. 12 new subclasses, new micro setting, factions, monsters, magic items, random rolling tables, like always, of course, and playable lineages. Round out your party or NPC with thick-scaled bravi, adventurous Kinosi, and mysterious... I'm not gonna pronounce that. So that's Deep and Dangerous for you in a nutshell. So you can back this, like always, you can back this for a bunch of stuff. You can back this for the PDF, you can back this for the digital plus the PDF, the digital plus the soft cover, which is $17, but actually it's $20, but there is also like the early bird, which has one left while I'm recording this. There's like one early bird left, so make sure to click the link really quickly. Otherwise, you're paying $20 for the PDF and a softcover print code. So the print code, I really have to quickly say this, it's a code you get to print the book at the cost of printing. So you're just... After that, after paying the $20, you need to pay a little bit more just to print it. You're not paying for the book itself anymore. It's just a system a lot of people use in order to create their stuff and have it printed in the quantity that they want to have it printed. So if only like 2 people back the printing tier, then they are not out of money, which is like a really smart way of doing stuff. So I really like that also you can have these add-ons. So that's why I wanted to talk about Den of Assassins really quickly. So there's Den of Assassins, which is really great PDF. It's also a softcover version, link description below. But you can also get this as an add-on. I think it's cheaper if you get it as an add-on after backing this, but there's also Rare Dragons and Oceanic Depths. So you can get a bunch of other stuff just as add-ons from the same creators, just as extra from backing this thing. Of course, there's also like more expensive tiers where you can play with the developers in like an underground game or something like that, which is really cool. There are these stretch goals, and I really just want to go into the Deep and Dangerous PDF real quickly, because here's where it's at. Right here you can see what they're trying to aim for. And as you can see, their previous work is like really detailed. As a matter of fact, there's the people who worked on it, which is really cool how they did it with the pictures. There's like this other piece of artwork. This is just so great. This is like, I want to build in like a playable character. There's just this dude, just 2 swords, and I don't know what race he's supposed to be. But yeah, there's a bunch of content in here, and it just all really, really makes sense, which I really absolutely love. But then we get into Deep and Dangerous, which is what this video is about. And I just love when creators give us these free PDFs on a Kickstarter page. By the way, I'm also going to do a Kickstarter maybe in August or September or something like that, and we'll also have a free PDF, link description below. Deep and Dangerous free PDF has a subclass that might be the thematically most correct subclass that I've read in a long time. Oftentimes I see a subclass that has a great title, great artwork, and a bunch of powers that make sense, but also just a bunch of powers that feel slapped on there because they didn't have like inspiration to add more to it. So what they did is, of course, there is a foreword, there's how to use the book, what is in the book. It's all like to make you back their Kickstarter, which is like really logic. And the class that I want to talk about is actually the Paladin, Oath of the Trailblazer. The Trailblazer commits to lead the way and makes a path for those who follow. A Trailblazer Paladin can shine as an individual by rushing headfirst into dangerous situation, but also within a group by being part of the vanguard charged with paving the way for others. So this is really cool. This is a Paladin that actually like leads the way in a literal form. Of course, a paladin is always like the person to look up to when you're in a party. The paladin is there to like make people have this oath, and they're like, yeah, they're going to buff people with their charisma and everything. They're the knight on the white horse or whatever. And the spells you get already make sense. So Expeditious Retreat makes a lot of sense for somebody like this. Fairy Fire makes sense because it's like, hey, I'm over here. Knock makes sense because it gets you through a freaking door. Spider Climb makes sense because it gets you through a freaking cave. Fly makes sense because it gets you wherever you need to go. Water Walk makes sense because it gets you to be Jesus. freedom of movement, stone skin, how all of these spells that it's chosen for this make sense. And then there are the powers. First of all, there is a channel divinity. When you take this oath 3rd level, you gain the following channel ability options. Anchor of safety. As a reaction, when you see a creature teleported, including to another plane, or pulled away against its will, you create an anchor for that creature. At the end of the creature's next turn, it magically returns to an unoccupied space next to you, provided that it is willing. I think this is thematically so cool. You might only use this once in your entire campaign. Now, if you're playing in an underdark-esque setting, that's what I'm calling it. And there's a lot of these spells, darker spells, where people can like make you teleport or put you on another plane of existence for a period of time. You as a paladin can actually protect people from that with an anchor. So I'm literally envisioning myself like, woof, an anchor comes out of my hand, right? And you can hold that for until your next turn, and when your next turn comes, you can pull yourself in and you don't teleport, which is like really, I think that's really cool. But the really cool thing about this is Path of Protection. Starting at 7th level, your aura of protection, blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna read it. The thing is, you have this aura of protection as a paladin, right? So where everybody gets buffed when they make a saving throw, which is like one of the best features of the paladin. Whenever there's a paladin in the party, people are always like, I stay 5 feet or 10 feet, whatever it is, with the paladin because he buffs me when I need to make a check. Now, this aura kind of also makes a path that lights up, and I think it's 30 feet long, 5 feet wide path, and remains as long as you don't move. You need to make like a movement. If you end your turn in a position where you didn't start, so if you made movement, you have this line that lights up, and people who are in this line also benefit from your aura of protection. 50% of your aura of protection, rounded up, but still they benefit from it. For people who play with miniatures on maps, this is really, really cool, because in Theater of the Mind, it often goes like, hey, am I close enough to the paladin? And I might go, yes, you are, or I might go, no, you're just standing off to the right. You just said you were going off a little bit to the right because you're a bow and arrow and you want to snipe the dude. And they're like, okay, I'm okay. But with people who play with miniatures, this really makes sense. I think this is thematically just correct, and I want to congratulate the creators for creating something like this. I'm not gonna go over the entire thing. There is a Warlock Otherworldly Patron, which is the Monolith. Yes, there is a Monolith that you worship. Basically, there is a monolith that gives you very slowly pours powers into you. It's not like a creature like Godzilla or whatever that you worship. It's more like it's just this monolith, and you discovered that it is magical, and not everybody knows that it's magical. And it has this really cool video game-esque artwork. If my computer, yes, it has this very cool video game-esque artwork right here, which with this floating monolith, and there's a person going up there with an animal companion. Absolutely love that they integrated this right here, and it's really cool. As a concept, I really like it, that there is this monolith that can give you powers, and you can kind of choose between being of alien origin or primeval or whatever it was. So it's really cool that you can choose between that. There is previews for the factions, and then there is a bunch of monsters that are really cool. One of them is really, really wicked crazy. It's this one. I mean, the Voidling, which is an aberration, typically chaotic neutral. Yeah, I would say it's evil. It's evil. I'm gonna ignore that. So it has Knowledge Drain and Void Scream, and I don't even want to know what all that is. I want to use this as a dungeon master. Really like this art. It really creeps me out like badly. And then they even go into the micro setting preview, and you can use all of these IDs and all of this stuff like the subclasses. You can already start using this in your game. It's just absolutely 100% for free for you to download right here. And that's basically it. If you're interested in this Kickstarter, make sure to click the link in the description below and consider backing it and download the free PDF. If you're still watching this video at this point right now, comment below with your favorite weapon in D&D.